Yo, JD here. And as you can see, we are back on F1 22 as always. And we return to our Hotlap and setup series. This time arriving at Montreal, Canada. And this track I really do love, especially when it comes to league racing and driving online. It's one of my favourite tracks, and I think it's a very underappreciated track in my opinion. But in time trial, it's probably one of the worst tracks to drive, because I think it's very unrealistic to how you would actually drive online in a league race or in a competitive lobby. Because in time trial, it's all about how much you can cut and get away with it, which is why I always do say to people quite a lot, always take time trial with a pinch of salt. If you are not at the top of the timesheets, doesn't mean you won't be at the top of the timesheets when it actually counts in a league race or in a competitive scenario itself, because the way you drive is not on the same limit as it is in a time trial. It's a little bit unrealistic, so don't get demotivated. Realize there is a lot more to it. So as usual, we're going to be showing a full lap here uninterrupted, and then we will be breaking it down. I personally didn't spend that long on this track because, as I said before, when I put on the setup and I get quite good times quite quickly. I think around here I only did around 15 laps in total, which is actually not that much, and I got down into low nines very quickly. I've said it many times before, it's not about how fast you can go over a lap, because I know so many people who spend 4 to 5 hours and yeah, eventually they'll get that one lap but they put everything together. What I encourage you to focus on is how consistently you can do good laps. And if you can consistently do good laps, like here I was doing 109.2s almost every lap, then for me that feels like it's a good setup to run. And so I really do focus on the consistency. And yeah, one lap pace is important, but it's about how often you can get up a good lap. You could do a 10 out of 10 lap, one in 30 laps, but if you do an 8 out of 10 lap, 30 laps, then that guy's go win at the end of the day. So yeah, I didn't really spend too much time here. We'll come back on this later on and then just try and cut it as much as possible to get the world record. But I was pretty content with this setup, and definitely a lot more time in this as well. But yeah, I felt the setup was pretty good and I was pretty satisfied overall, really. So to break down the lap itself, so starting at the turn 1. So coming into here, you've got this little part on the side of the track, just about a car length before this ends. That's your braking and turning in point. Want to be taking as much curb as you can, and you can see using all of the track on this inside here. They're really carrying the speed into this right hander. Try and keep it nice and tight, so you don't want to be kissing this curb. You just want to be getting as close as you can to this white line. And then as we unwind the steering wheel, watch the throttle. As we unwind it, the more throttle we do, so it's working in harmony together. This corner is an absolute nightmare. I use this 100-meter board as a reference, but it's really as your whole car goes past it, that's when you want to start reacting going into here. And then this one, we could have cut it quite a bit more than this, but you can see it's about how much you can cut and how much risk you really want to take, and it's pretty much exactly the same for this one. The left-hander we did quite well, could have gained a bit more time on the corner before. Use all the track on the exit, keep nice and tight to the right hand side here, and then as we come into this one, 100-meter board again, just as we pass it, that is our triggers to start braking. Now turning in point is, as we see this part of the track here where it turns to that concrete, that is your turning in point. So as soon as we hit that, try and take as much curb as you can on this inside. Again, we could have taken a little bit more curb here, so it really does hook your car around quite nicely. This one, you want to kind of kiss this curb. You don't want to mount it because it will unsettle the car. So slow in, fast out. Think of a slingshot coming out of this chicane here. Make sure you're getting the DRS. Stay nice and tight to the right-hand side to minimize the distance of the track. And then coming into here, just before you hit this shadow, that is your braking point. So slow in, fast out. And then coming through into here, you want to take quite a bit of that curb. So you actually want to get over that orange part of it. As you can see, we did the same for the left-hander, but you will see after this video exactly what I mean. So again, that's a little bit of time to find. So could have cut that even more through there. Going to his hairpin, a very awkward corner, but if you look here, the different shades of grey, that is where I start breaking into this, or when your wheel is completely straight. And this one, you don't want to get super tight to the apex, because if you go super tight too early, it really harms your ability to get on the throttle early. So you want to go a bit deep and use kind of the angle of the corner to get a better line out of it. Getting the DRS on the exit and going through the chicane, honestly, it's just about how much you can cut without invalidating. Through here, after the 100-meter board, that is my reference point coming into the chicane. And yeah, you are about to see, this is not even actually a good attempt. Going through here, yeah, you could just cut it so much. It is absolutely outrageous. You can actually do more than this as well. And then go for left hand. I could have done it more as well again, but I say a 7 out of 10 effort through here. Use the track on the exit. Make sure you're getting the DRS. Stay to the right hand side. And that is a 109.2, which for a fairly cleanish lap. And we did it pretty quickly. I was quite happy. But this is what I mean. So coming through into here, you can see we're 800ths down on our time. But we actually cut it a lot more than we did on our time trial lap. And you'll see the amount of time we gained. We've almost gained that time back. We gained half a tenth or more just through that. So yeah, there's a lot of places you can gain time. That was enough for 16th out of 42,000. I was pretty happy with that. And as I said in the Baku video, I do think there's quite a few people who are running assists, but sneakily hiding it as well, because you can do that in the time trial. But 30-25, I felt was pretty nice around here. Need a bit of downforce. 60-50 is pretty much the norm. Right, left, left is becoming a norm as well. 6-1, 5-1, 7-4, 7-4, 8-4, and 8-6 ride height seem to be pretty popular now. And the brakes and tyre pressures are the same as always. And these setups I've been using online with great success so far. So I really hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully you learned something. I will be coming back and sweating it out properly to reclaim some world records for my series in the future. But for now, I just want to produce good, reliable setups that I think will work quite nicely online as well. So yeah, you can see our consistency in the times, doing 0.2s, 0.3s. If you're doing the times consistently like that, that's a good setup and a comfortable one in my opinion. So thank you so much. Make sure you like the video if you're enjoying this series, and I'll be catching you very, very soon. Peace.